Iran, the deal with the US offers something just as important as a ceasefire, a way to claim that it has not just survived the war without surrendering, but has emerged from it stronger. From the start, Tehran's core objective was not necessarily to defeat the US and Israel in conventional republic intact. It was to come out of still functioning with the Islamic Republic and its negotiating position not completely broken.
The Memorandum of Understanding signed by President Donald Trump and President Masoud Pezeshkian of Iran lays out the political, military and economic consequences of the ill-judged decision to attack Iran on the 28th of February. The human cost is already clear. Thousands have been killed, many of them civilians, in Iran and Lebanon.
Ivory Coast forward Eli Wahi will not travel to Canada for this weekend's World Cup clash with Germany in Toronto because his authorisation to visit the country has not been obtained, the Ivorian Football Federation, FIF, said on Thursday. The announcement came the day after Wahi was linked to an investigation into suspected sports corruption, with French authorities saying unusual betting patterns were detected around a yellow card Wahi received in a League One match while playing for his club side Nice last month.
A memorandum of understanding, MOU, for ending the electronically signed near the French capital, Paris, after weeks of US President Donald Trump's repeated claims that an agreement was close. The 14-point framework signed on Wednesday sees Iran commit to refrain from procuring or developing nuclear weapons in exchange for sanctions relief, a $300 anti-reconstruction plan, and the restarting of maritime traffic in the Strait of Hormuz.
Voters in Colombia are preparing to head to the polls for the second time in less than a month to decide who will be the South American country's next president. But the two candidates competing in Sunday's runoff offer starkly differing visions for the country's future. Washington, D.C., Janice Lewis George, a Democratic socialist who has promised an aggressive approach to United States President Donald Trump, is on track to become the next mayor of Washington, D.C. Lewis George already had a commanding lead after Tuesday's Democratic primary. Her top competitor, Kenyon McDuffie, conceded on Thursday, all but assuring her victory. Loading the player, a grassroots movement is forming among everyday tech workers who are demanding their companies develop and deploy AI responsibly. And the Guardrails Alliance, a new super PAC dedicated to supporting AI legislation, aims to leverage that discontent.
General Intuition, the New York-based startup building a foundation model that trains AI agents how to move through space and time, is in talks to raise around, with the matter told TechCrunch. The raise come 8 months after General Intuition spun out of Metal, a platform for uploading and sharing video game clips. With a fresh fund $34 million seed round, the fresh funds would bring the startup's valuation up to just over $2 billion, sources say.
As Wordle celebrates its 5th anniversary, we have to be honest with ourselves. Are we still having fun thousands of Wordles later? Sometimes we are, but other times the daily word game has felt like a means to keep a streak alive. Instead, my friends and I have gotten hooked on a new game, MapTap, which is available both as an app and on the web. Every day, MapTap has 5 questions, each one presenting you with a city, or occasionally the site of a historic event or battle to tap on the map. You get a score between 0 and 100 on each clue, depending on how close you are.
Apple announced on Thursday that developers in Brazil are now allowed to distribute their iOS apps through alternative app stores and process payments for digital goods and services outside the App Store. The changes, which are part of Apple's agreement with Brazil's competition regulator Conselho Administrativo de Defesa Econômica, or KD, loosen Apple's rules in yet another market, following similar revisions in the EU and Japan.
The Peshawar electric supply company, PESCO, has announced a series of power shutdowns in various areas due to maintenance work at multiple grid stations, causing temporary electricity suspension on different dates in June. According to the notification, power supply from the Pesco Colony Grid Station will remain suspended on June 25 and 29 from 6 a.m. to 11 a.m, affecting consumers of Zaintara, Shahi Bagh Express, Hassan Gahi, Shahi Bagh, Rashidabad and Shami road feeders.
Lahore Electric Supply Company, LESCO, has stopped printing detailed taxes and charges on electricity bills after changing the bill design. Under the new format, consumers will no longer see a separate breakdown of taxes and charges on the printed bill. Instead, they will have to scan a QR code to view the details.
The National Institute of Health, NIH, has issued an advisory for the prevention and control of monsoon-related diseases across Pakistan. According to the advisory, the monsoon season increases the risk of communicable and vector-borne diseases due to heavy rainfall, flooding, waterlogging, damaged sanitation systems, contaminated drinking water and increased vector breeding.
Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif on Thursday told Iran's President Dr. Masoud Pezeshkian that the recently signed Islamabad Memorandum of Understanding, MOU, between Washington and Tehran would go a long way towards rebuilding Iran. According to the Prime Minister's office, PMO, the Premier made the remarks during a phone call with the Iranian president that lasted over 30 minutes.
The jury has failed to reach a verdict in the trial of a Norwegian teenager accused of travelling to England to carry out a killing on behalf of an international crime gang backed by Iran. Johannes Kongsnes Natland, 19, allegedly agreed with the Swedish Foxes gang to shoot an unknown target for €25,000 as 21,500 in March last year.
President Donald Trump has formally signed a deal with Iran to end the conflict that began on the 28th February when the US and Israel launched airstrikes against Tehran and across the country. The terms of the 14-point Memorandum of Understanding between the US and Iran have been criticised over what is included and what is left out.
This is far from over. These are the words of Cristiano Ronaldo after Portugal were held to a 1-1 draw by DR Congo in their opening Group K game at the World Cup 2026.
Khan Yunis, Gaza Strip, 15-year-old Rafa al-Qudra had one hope in life: to get out of the Gaza Strip in time to save her sight. On Saturday, before Israel gave her that permission, everything turned pitch black. Sitting in an open-sided shelter covered in thick nylon in the Al-Mawasi coastal area in southern Gaza's Khan Yunis governorate, Rafa continuously pressed her hands over her eyes, either to block the light she can no longer see but still burns her eyes or to hide her falling tears.
Punjab Food Authority, PFA, sealed 8 food points and production units and imposed fines of $1.12 million on 75 businesses during a district-wide enforcement drive, officials said on Thursday. According to a PFA spokesperson, the operation was carried out on the directives of Director General Syed Musa Raza.
Faisalabad Electric Supply Company, FESCO, has issued a power shutdown schedule in connection with the necessary repair, maintenance and expansion of electric lines on June 19. According to a schedule issued here on Thursday, power supply from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. will remain suspended from FIDMC 2, Nishat Sweets, Vizhayat Cantaramics No 2, Daily JW2, Sargodha Cloth, Nishat Hyundai, Afridi Textile, Tapal Textile, Maheen Textile, National Foods, Sadakat Corporation, Orient Material No 2, Scarp Eye, Coca-Cola, Cast Paint, Ghani Ceramics, Feeders.
Petroleum Minister Ali Pervez Malik said on Thursday that Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif has directed authorities to immediately pass on the benefit of declining international oil prices to consumers. In a post on social media on Thursday, the minister said, "International oil prices are far as national oil prices are falling, and the Prime Minister has directed that this benefit be passed on to the public immediately."
Pre-sales of Grand Theft Auto 6, the feverishly anticipated video game release, will begin on June 25. Rockstar Games said on Thursday GTA 6, Due to be released on November 19 after 2 delays, is the 8th main entry in the blockbuster franchise and is set to arrive more than 13 years after GTA 5, the second best-selling video game in history.
The value of Iran's currency has risen by more than 15% against the US dollar, and its stock market has shattered records in the wake of the Memorandum of Understanding agreed between the United States and Iran on Sunday. However, Iranians suffering for years from extremely high inflation and a plunging rial have found little economic relief as the prices of basic goods, such as food, remain high despite the diplomatic breakthrough.
2 men, including one who worked as a British immigration officer, were jailed after being convicted of spying on prominent pro-democracy dissidents now based in the United Kingdom on behalf of Hong Kong, and ultimately China, Chungbu Bilyun, 66, and Chi-Leung Peterwai, 41, who worked for the UK Border Force, were imprisoned on Thursday after being convicted last month of assisting a foreign intelligence service by carrying out surveillance on targets between December 2023 and May 2024. Spotify's move to cater to music superfans is now going live. On Thursday, the streaming giant announced the launch of Reserved by Spotify, a new system that will identify eligible top fans of an artist, then hold 2 tour tickets for them before the general ticket sale opens. The feature will first be available starting today in the US for premium subscribers ages 18+. Timed alongside his tour news, Role Model will be the first artist partner to take advantage of the ticket holding system, and fans will begin to receive notifications about their secured tour tickets starting on June 23 before the general public sale. Spotify said it won't collect any fees on the transactions. The Federal Constitutional Court has issued a landmark ruling reinforcing women's inheritance rights, stating that no regional custom or family tradition can deprive women of their legal share in property. The court declared that denying women their inheritance rights violates both national law and Islamic principles, emphasizing that inheritance rights are clearly defined in the Holy Quran and must be strictly protected.
The US and Iran have agreed to a basic framework. Whether this formal consensus translates into a concrete agreement is an open question. While Iran has officially declared the end of the war, Israel insists our struggle has not yet ended. Between these 2 statements lies all the space the spoilers need. The ceasefire was made possible by pragmatists. It will be threatened by apocalypticists. In Washington and Jerusalem, there are people at the helm of affairs who do not read this war as a security crisis to be resolved, but a scheduled event, one that a ceasefire can delay but not, in their theology, prevent. For them, a deal is not a solution. It is an obstacle. And obstacles in the eschatological imagination are not negotiated around, they are removed.
Islamabad. The Supreme Court's SC on Thursday ordered the Adiala Jail Superintendent, Punjab's Home Secretary, the Islamabad Advocate General and the Punjab Advocate General to furnish their replies within 3 weeks in a case concerning the denial of access to incarcerated PTI founder Imran Khan. A petition was filed by PTI Secretary General Salman Akram Raja challenging the Islamabad High Court's IHC October 23, 2025 dismissal of his contempt petition, which sought enforcement of the court's directives regarding visitation rights for Imran's legal team at Adiala Jail.
A Russian shadow fleet tanker has entered the English Channel for the first time since UK forces boarded the Smirtos on Sunday morning, ship tracking data shows. Forwarder, a Russian-flagged ship that left port in Primorsk last week, entered the Channel on Wednesday evening and sailed south. It is broadcasting its final destination as China's Dongying port.
First ever hat-trick for Lionel Messi, heavyweight Spain stunned by tiny Cape Verde, and DR Congo silencing Cristiano Ronaldo-led Portugal. What more could you ask from the opening week of a FIFA World Cup?